Sorry, I'm so nervous.
Okay, no need to be.
Apparently, there's a lot of horrific things about the prophet.
Yes, there is. Too many.
Can you tell me? Can
Sure.
you show me? I want to know.
Yeah, I will show you from authentic sources because I'm assuming Palestinian. You were from a Sunni background.
Yes, I am.
Okay, I'm going to sum up some of the things Muhammad did, and I'm going to show you. And I have articles, and in my articles, I link to Muslim websites because Muslims will accuse us of lying, but then we quote Muslim websites.
Muslims always ask, where does the New Testament condemn polygyny? The answer is simple and devastating. 1 Corinthians 7 does exactly that by defining marriage as one man and one woman with mutual authority over each other's bodies, one husband, one wife, no exceptions. And here's the challenge no Muslim has ever answered. Where does the Quran ever say the husband's body belongs to the wife the way the Bible teaches? Watch this carefully because this comparison exposes a massive moral gap between Christianity and Islam. Like, subscribe, and tell me your thoughts in the comments as we walk through this line by line.
Where in the New Testament does it condemn polygyny and say
1 Corinthians 7 verses 1 to 5. Now concerning the things of which you write to me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman. In other words, to be celibate. Nevertheless, because of sexual immorality, let each man have his own wife, and let each woman have her own husband. Now you see it says each woman has her own husband, right? Not husbands?
Yes.
How many husbands can she have?
One.
Oh, but let's finish it. Let each man have his own wife, not wives. How many wives can a husband have?
It's saying they're one.
Let the husband render to his wife, not wives, the affection due to her, and likewise also the wife to her husband, not husbands. Now watch this, because you're not going to find this teaching in the Quran. The wife does not have authority over her own body, but the husband does. So her body belongs to her husband. Now watch this. And likewise, the husband does not have authority over his own body, but the wife does. So the husband's body belongs to the wife. The wife's body belongs to the husband. One husband, one wife. Do not deprive one another. In other words, do not deny each other sexual intimacy unless you agree. You both agree for a period of time that you may give yourselves to fasting and prayer and come together again so that Satan does not tempt you because of your lack of self-control. So just like the woman has one husband, the man has one wife, and the man's body belongs to his wife's body belongs to him. So when the wife wants to be intimate, the man can't say no. Now, can you show me a similar teaching in the Quran where the Quran says that the husband's body belongs to the woman and the husband's body is the woman's still?
I know some hadith that says how the woman is like a garden or a field for the
that's in
husband.
the Quran. That's in Surah Al-Baqarah, chapter 2 of the Quran. It says that your wives are your field. Plow into them the way you want. Do you like that? Do you like Allah describing you as a field that your husband can plow into?
Can we move to the next question?
Sure, go ahead. Okay, go ahead.
I just have a couple questions. I was born Muslim. I was born into Islam. And I used to be super religious. I used to wear the hijab and everything, pray 5 times a day. I met a lot of Christians and they used to ask me questions. I would tell them it's not true. Come to find out, it is true. So now I'm confused. I have a Bible. I bought it a couple months ago. Whew, sorry, I'm really nervous.
Are you nervous because I'm bald or what are you nervous?
No, I'm being told something was the truth for so long. Now I'm stuck. It's kind of hard for me. Someone had asked me is it true that men can be on women? I said, absolutely not. Where did you find that? Oh, it's in your book. Show me. They would show me it, and I can't really defend it. There's nothing I can say because it's clearly there.
That is there.
And other things about the Prophet Muhammad. See, now I'm stuck because, sorry, I'm so nervous.
Okay, no need to be.
Apparently, there's a lot of horrific things about the Prophet.
Yes, there is. Too many.
Can you tell me? Can you show me? I want to know.
Yeah, I will show you from authentic sources because I'm assuming Palestinian. You were from a Sunni background.
Yes, I am.
Okay, I'm going to sum up some of the things Muhammad did, and I'm going to show you. And I have articles, and in my articles, I link to Muslim websites because Muslims will accuse us of lying, but then we quote Muslim websites. Number one, Muhammad sanctioned not only taking captive women and raping them, but married captive women and raping them, which is unlike the Old Testament where the God of Moses told Moses, if you find a woman captive, because they go to war is inevitable. And we can talk about who started the war between the Muslims and the unbelievers. The God of Moses told Israel, you find a captive woman, you cannot enslave her, you cannot rape her, you give her a month to mourn, and then you marry her and treat her as a wife. And if you divorce her, you let her go. And yet here, Muhammad comes in the Quran and the Sunnah, and he says, when you take women captive, you can rape them. Now, they don't use the word rape, obviously. They're not going to use the term. But if I ask you a question, if you got taken captive because there's a war and the man has sex with you, do you think you'd be willing to have sex with your captor?
No, absolutely not.
Well, Islam says you have no choice. Once they capture you, you're their property. And he said you can even do it with a married woman. That's number one. Number two, I'm sure you know this, and it's not just with Muhammad, but the Quran sanctions this, and Islamic Sharia sanctions this. Muhammad not only took a 9-year-old to bed when he was 54, the Quran actually permits prepubescent minors, young girls who haven't reached puberty, to be married, for men to have sex with them, and divorce them to be married off again. That's in the Quran and the Sunnah. That's the second thing he did. And that's why to this day, in predominantly Muslim lands, not in the West, where Muslims know they can't do this and get away with this, and they try to present a rosy picture of Islam. To this day, in Muslim countries, if you go to Saudi Arabia, if you go to Afghanistan, wherever there's a Muslim majority, you'll have young girls, even before 9, being married off. And the only condition, and I'm going to show you this from authentic Muslim sources, the only condition, you know what the only condition is, sister?
No, I don't.
That she can handle penetration. So I'm going to show you where a girl as young as 6, 7, or 8 can be married off, and the man can have sex with her. But if she can't handle penetration, he has to wait till she's 9.
Wow.
Thirdly, Muhammad abolished adoption. Do you know why he did that?
No, I don't.
Because he had married his adopted son's divorced wife, Zainab. And then people started making fun of him, like, how could you take your son's wife? So then Allah abolished adoption, saying, well, adopted sons are not really sons, so stop calling them your sons. So Muhammad, the pervert, took his adopted son's divorced wife, Zainab bin Jahsh, and his adopted son was Zayd ibn Muhammad. But then he said, adoption is now abolished. And that's why in Islam, and you can go to your chef and tell him, in Islam, can we adopt children? Say no, you can take care of orphans. I'm not saying you can't do that. But when an orphan reaches age, he cannot live in the house if he's not a son. Why? Because you know about the issue of mahram.
I heard about that. Wow, I did not know that.
Okay, but let's say you heard about that. How disgusting of a man that he would allow pedophilia, but then abolish a humane practice such as adoption, because that means in Muslim countries, there are orphans who don't know who their parents are, and there are couples who can't have children. And because of Muhammad, orphans can't be adopted and raised as children, and couples who can't have children cannot adopt children because of Muhammad.
Wow. Okay.
How would you feel about that? Let's say you're married and you can't conceive. And you know there's an orphan who doesn't know who his or her parents are, and you would love to adopt that child and love them as your own, and you can't do it because of Islam.
I would feel pretty hurt, but I know I'm not defending anything, but I know some people, they've told me, oh, well, he can go and marry another wife. Absolutely not. I'm not okay.
That means you're a piece of garbage, piece of meat, because you're irrelevant. What about you then?
Yeah, no, I hear you. I honestly, I did not know that.
Hey, but what about, okay, say you can marry another wife and get a child. What about you? Don't you want a child?
Yeah, I'm going to feel hurt.
Do you want a competition wife who can give him kids and you can't give him kids so that she looks down upon you?
No, I would not want that.
My point is, okay, he can marry someone. What about the orphans that cannot be adopted and be made part of someone's family?
I think that's sad.
Well, that's what Muhammad did. Let me show you. Muhammad said you can rape captive women who are married. So Muhammad was a very filthy, evil, immoral monster. But what the Muslims do, they focus on his good qualities and never speak about the bad qualities. That's why in Islamic law, Sharia, you are killed if you criticize Muhammad. How convenient, huh?
Yeah.
Why would you need to kill people who talk about Muhammad? If Muhammad is a pillar and he's a saint, what's there to say about him to discredit him unless you know there's a lot of filthy, evil, vile things about this man? It's like me focusing on the good qualities of Hitler and ignoring what a monster he was, right?
Yeah.
Islam, the religion of rape and adultery. But the thing is, I link to Muslim sources. This is Surah An-Nisa, chapter 4, verse 24. Now, this is telling Muslim men whom they cannot have sex with. Also forbidden are women already married. So I can't have sex with a married woman, right? Except those captives and slaves whom your right hands possess. You hear that?
Yes.
They're on the screen. So I can't have sex with you if you're a married woman unless you're my captive or slave. That means then it doesn't matter you're married. I own you. I can now have sex with you. Now, what was the reason this passage was sent down? Well, here you go. I have it here, but so you don't think I'm making it up. Sunnah.com. Does it say Christian.com?
No, it says sunnah.com.
Okay, this is a Muslim site. So now let's see what it says. The book of suckling, and there's an interesting story related to this. Chapter 9, it is permissible to have intercourse with a female captive after it is established that she's not pregnant. If she has a husband, then her marriage is annulled when she's captured. Did you catch it?
Yes, I see it.
Okay, so if you're married and I take you captive, your marriage is void. Why? Because Muhammad said so. Now watch here. Abu Sayyid al-Khudri reported that at the Battle of Hunayn, Allah's messenger sent an army Autas and encountered the enemy and fought with them. Having overcome them, taking them captives, the companions of Allah's messenger seemed to refrain from having intercourse with captive women. Why? Why didn't they want to have sex with them? Because of their husbands being polytheists. They were like, all right, well, they're married, their husbands are pagans, we refuse to have sex with them. Then Allah Most High sent down regarding that, and women already married, except those whom your right hands possess, i.e. they were lawful for them when their iddah period came to an end. Meaning, no, don't worry about it. You can have sex with them. Don't worry that their husbands are kafir. Don't worry about it, their husband's still alive. Just make sure they're not pregnant, so that you know if they're pregnant, it's not your child. So now plow into them and rape them. Now, I want to ask you a question. Would a decent, moral woman who's married consent to having sex with her captor when her husband's alive?
No.
But it's not up to you, because it says that when you're taken captive, your marriage is annulled. You're his property. Your opinion doesn't matter.
Wow.
Exactly. Wow.
Let's start with the New Testament. 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verses 1 through 5. Paul says it is good for a man to remain celibate, but because of sexual immorality, let each man have his own wife and each woman her own husband. Notice the language. Not wives, not husbands. One man, one woman. Then Paul goes further. He says the husband must render affection to his wife and the wife to her husband. Again, singular. And here's the part you will never find in the Quran. The wife does not have authority over her own body, but the husband does. And likewise, the husband does not have authority over his own body, but the wife does. This is mutual submission. The man's body belongs to his wife, the woman's body belongs to her husband. Neither can deny the other intimacy except by mutual agreement for prayer and fasting. This teaching makes polygyny impossible. A man cannot belong fully to multiple women at the same time. Biblical marriage is exclusive, monogamous, and reciprocal. Now here's the question Muslims cannot answer. Show me one verse in the Quran where a husband's body belongs to his wife. You won't find it. Instead, what do we find? Surah Al-Baqarah, chapter 2, describes women as a field for men to plow as they wish. That is not mutual authority. That is ownership. That is domination. And it gets worse. Surah An-Nisa, chapter 4, verse 24, explicitly allows Muslim men to have sexual relations with captive women, even if those women are married. The Quran says married women are forbidden except those whom your right hand possesses. Authentic hadith explain exactly what this means. When a woman is captured in war, her marriage is annulled. Her consent no longer matters. As long as she is not pregnant, her captor may have sex with her. Ask yourself a simple question. Would any married woman willingly consent to sex with the man who killed her people and enslaved her while her husband is still alive? Of course not. Yet Islam permits it. Then there is child marriage. The Quran and Sunnah permit marriage to prepubescent girls. Islamic law allows sexual relations as long as the child can physically endure penetration. This is not a fringe belief. It is practiced to this day in Muslim-majority countries and justified by Muhammad's own actions. And then adoption. Muhammad abolished adoption because he married the divorced wife of his adopted son. To silence criticism, he declared adopted sons were not real sons. As a result, Islam forbids true adoption. Orphans cannot fully become part of a family. Couples who cannot conceive are told the man should simply take another wife. Christianity does the opposite. The Bible commands care for orphans. It teaches sacrificial love. It elevates women as equal image bearers of God. And it defines marriage as one man and one woman joined in mutual self-giving love. That is why criticism of Muhammad is punishable by death under Sharia. If he were truly morally perfect, no criticism would threaten Islam. The truth is dangerous only when lies are being protected.